so excited that you have decided to join me to explore these 3 keys to quieting your inner critic. So let's just jump right into it, and I'm going to give you the first key, this first technique in quieting that critic. And that is give that critic a space. Give it a voice. Now, this might seem extremely backwards because in that first video, right, we were talking about how do we lessen that voice? How do we reduce that voice in our life? And how can we do that if we're giving it a voice? Well, the way I like to think of my inner critic is as a mother with its little child at the grocery store. The critic being that little child. And imagine the mom and the child walking down the aisles, and the child wants something, and maybe something's bothering him, or maybe he sees something down the aisles, but there is a reason, and he's like, "Mom, I want the chocolate, I want to go to the bathroom." And the child might start out with a smaller voice like, hey mom, but if the mom doesn't listen, what typically is going to happen is the child is going to get louder, right? The child is going to say, "Mom, listen to me, pay attention." And it's probably not going to use the words I'm using right now, right? It's just going to kind of have a tantrum and get louder and louder. This is exactly the way that I think of that critic, is that this critic is a voice within us. And that voice has some reason that it's there. It might be because it's wanting to keep us safe, and that's often a reason. It's wanting to somehow keep us safe. It's wanting to protect us from being hurt, from experiencing something new that's going to be painful for us. So when that newness comes up, it's like that voice that's trying to get the attention from its mom, from its parent. So what I'm going to encourage you to do in this exercise I'm going to share is a way to give a voice to that inner critic without giving it a microphone and a recording device so that it can play loud and on repeat again and again and again. So the way that I suggest that you do this is through a sentence and through an actual visual in your head. So when that voice comes in and it says, "We can't do this, we've already tried this, let's just stop." When those voices come in, what you do is you stop for a moment and recognize what they're saying, and then literally say to that voice in your head, "I see you, I hear you. Thanks for sharing. But right now, all I'm gonna do is this." So if you're in a moment, for example, when you're at an audition, when you're at a job interview, when you're in a space where that voice is just coming really loud, stopping for a moment and saying, "I see you, I hear you. I know that you're there, but right now, I'm okay, and I'm just gonna do this interview." It really helps to reduce that charge and to really allow it to be there, like I said, but not give it a microphone and free rein. So I suggest you give this a try. And a little bonus tip to that is a way that you can visually give yourself an opportunity to give that a space is imagine like your head is this huge room with so much space and so much possibility and so much space. Imagine that critic has a corner of the room. Now, it's not like a punishment where you're like, you will go to that corner of the room, you're punished. It's more of a saying, you know what? I'm going to give you a space. I'm going to let you be there in my mind, but I'm also going to recognize all of this other possibility right now and the fact that I am safe to continue moving forward. So I encourage you to play with this, to play with acknowledging the critic that's there, speaking to it for a moment, literally in your mind, in your imagination, if you're a visual person, giving yourself that visual, and then breathing and taking the next step. So I encourage you to play with this. The next time something happens that brings on that critic, I can't do this, we can't do this, let's turn around, you're gonna fail, detour, go the other way. Stop and give it a space. I'd love to know how this works for you as well. So I encourage you to shoot me an email and to let me know how this works and if this works for you. And look for the next email that will be coming into your inbox on the second technique to quieting your inner critic. Wishing you an amazing day and looking forward to sharing more. Thanks so much.